I am here with Squatchman and Leroy from the Indiana Bigfoot Research Association organization, and I'm gonna just do a quick intro that I created for Squatchman, and then I would like to ask Leroy to formally introduce him. Greg Yost, A.K.A. Squatchman, is someone that I heard about from people around the Midwest when talking about interesting Sasquatch experiences. I've had more than one person basically tell me that you would not believe what has happened when I was out in the forest with Squatchman. I was even told by someone that they should do a show on him because he has this amazing presence and receives incredible activity from the forest people. I eventually met Greg at a campout that was a gathering of people interested in the Sasquatch at an area that was known for activity. Sure enough, almost like a page out of a book, I bore witness to numerous sets of glowing eyes, not reflecting light, but glowing, with Squatchman and a few other people. That was mind-blowing. I also was there when he spoke to the forest people in a beautiful, magical way, so much that you could literally feel the energy shift. He has a YouTube channel called Squatchman TV where he has some excellent videos posted. It has been a few years since he posted, and I hope to help create some new ones. With that, I would like to introduce you to Squatchman. I've compiled a few questions, and then we will see where our conversation takes us. And so, I would like to just let Leroy sort of introduce Greg Yost, known as Squatchman. I'll just let you take it from here, Leroy.
Okay, well, excuse me, sorry about that. I'm Leroy Nail with the Indiana Bigfoot Research Organization. And for quite a few years now, we've had a great opportunity and had some great times with Greg Yost, the Squatchman, as everybody calls him. And if you ever have a chance to go out with him or even listen to some of his stuff, you'll understand why people actually like to go out with him. And like Martin says at the first of this, you have the experience. Whenever you go out with Greg, he can bring him in. He puts out an energy that brings the Squatch in and gets some reactions. So without any more, Greg Yost, the Squatchman.
So I just have a couple questions, Greg. And I'll just start with
first
this.
of all, thanks a lot for the intro, Leroy. I appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah. Greg, do you have anything to add before I ask a couple questions?
Yeah, not yet. I'm sure. Yeah, I got a lot to say, but yeah, go ahead. Yeah, shoot away.
Awesome.
Just get ready, Martin, because once you get Greg going,
I love it.
You'll have to shut him off.
Yeah, and Leroy, if anything comes up and you want to chime in on, because I know that you've been very aware of a lot of what has happened, and I was floored with some of what you shared with me and what I shared. And one thing I want to say before I ask the first question. Last night I watched a show, like a documentary, and the people described seeing glowing lights. It was the res squatching Barry Webster. And it was unbelievable because I feel like I'm selling this. I'm not. I'm really excited about it. They described exactly what I saw sitting next to Greg in the forest. Different sets of eyes. Sometimes you'd see one, maybe two. You might see glowing around one tucked behind a tree, and you could see the leaves around lighting up. And they were amber. They described amber, some were like white and some were like a light blue. And I was like amazed because they described exactly what I experienced with Greg. So unbelievable. I'd never seen that before, and then I did right with him. So all right. First question, I'll just read it. I put a little pause between these just so they wouldn't just rush. Can you talk about that first night out in the forest with you and your dog?
Oh, what, the first encounter I had?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was back in November of 2002 in a little town called Ferdinand. in Dubois County, which is heading towards Evansville, heading towards where Leroy and them are going. Going on their camp out at the end of the
March here. We're heading that way.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. My phone just turned off. Okay, yeah, it was at the end of the Hoosier National Forest. I was laid off from work. My wife left me, man, took my 2 babies with her. I was pretty lost. So, like I say in all my interviews, I went out in the woods a lot, man, to try to gather my thoughts and find myself. Because nothing was going right in my life at the time. And my grandfather built and designed Ferdinand back in 1933, the state park.
Wow.
And it was a beautiful forest out there, beautiful. So I went out there one November night. And I brought my, some hot dogs, a cooler. I built a little fire there. And I went across a road, across a dam back in this little area. And that's where this happened. I did 10 years in the Navy. I wasn't a Bigfoot guy. I didn't know anything about Bigfoot. That was the last thing on my mind. I was just out there for, for some peace and quiet and some solitude. And, like I said, find out where my life's going. And I guess they answered that question for me, because it's been nothing but good after this night. So anyway, I'm out there with Buddy. He's a half chow, half golden retriever, weighs about 125 pounds, and he looked like a little grizzly bear. He's just a stocky old dog. That was my best friend. I didn't have my wife and my babies no more, but I had Buddy. I mean, he was loyal to me. A hunting dog come up. It was like a beagle, blue tick hound dog, mixed like. And he started playing around with Buddy. And it was early in the evening, man. I mean, it got dark early in November, 5:30, 6 o'clock. It's pitch dark down here in southern Indiana. So as I got the fire going, I was making my hot dogs. And about an hour later, nobody in the whole forest. I seen headlights coming down the forest road there. Then it comes across the dam road where I'm at. So I'm wondering, who could this be? It was so quiet out there. So it was the sheriff. So we started talking, and I told him about my grandfather, helped design and engineer this forest. And I talked about where they lived in Ferdinand, and I still got an aunt and uncle. Or my uncle just died, but my aunt still lives there. And it was like a Mayberry town to me. I just love it. And I was just drawn to Ferdinand, and because he's kind of getting, like, what are you doing out here? Because I told him, well, I'm laid off, I got plenty of time to kill. I'm sick of sitting around in this house. So he goes, okay, well, he goes, well, I'm going to come by and get that hunting dog when I get off in the morning. I said, well, I'm not going to be here, but hey, it's not my dog. You do whatever you want to. So he took off, and it wasn't 15 minutes later. I'm just sitting there, man, enjoying the night. There wasn't no stars out, nothing. Real dark, right up against the lake. Just a real beautiful, crisp November night. And I told you how quiet it was. So all of a sudden, I'm butted up against a big hill there, a pretty big hill there. And I believe there's a walking trail on top of that hill. So anyway, coming down the side of it, just huge footsteps. I mean, smashing down through the woods, sticks breaking, branches breaking. Like I like to say, it sounded like a Sherman tank. And I don't know how many footsteps it took, but it got down that hill in a hurry. I mean, just crashing down through. And I'm just like shocked. I'm like, what is that? And there's a big tree there, about 20 feet from the picnic table and the fire pit I was sitting at. and that's where the cutout stopped, right there. And then a big hill started, and he stopped right behind that big tree, and that's what I could hear him breathing, and it was like a real deep. It sounded almost like a growl, but it was so guttural and bassy. It was just coming right through me. I was like, "Holy shit!" I go, "Well, what is that, man?" And
Wow.
Buddy and his other dog, they go up about 10 feet in front of the tree and just sit down and just staring up at the tree. So I'm like, "Oh no, man! Well, why this had to happen?" So I'm just sitting there at the picnic table, still in shock. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. I'm like, "Man, is this real? I mean, what is happening?" I go, "What is that, man?" I mean, yeah, I was just blown away by what was happening. So then my Navy training kicked in. Like I said, I spent 10 years in the Navy, and I carry a firearm, and not when I go out in the woods, but I carry one in my vehicle. And I did have a firearm in there, a Colt 45 with a clip halfway in it. So I started thinking about my Navy chief, man, always yelling at me, about being prepared. Whenever you have an action, you're the one that got to be the reaction. And that reaction better be within a split second, or we could be going to your funeral. So I knew I had to act quick, man. So I jumped up, man. I fought off whatever trance I was in. I knew I was in serious danger. So I grabbed my gun right out of the console right there. My car was right there, a 2002 Pontiac Grand Prix. It was a 2000, but it was 2002, but I bought it brand new. I love that car. It was black. Called it my Black Beauty. So as I pulled it out, man, I shoved that clip up in there, did one in the chamber, and it was a whole new different ball game for me. I was armed now, so I could be me. So I started yelling at this thing. I go, "What are you? Who are you?" I go, "What do you want?" Yeah, and the growler, the breathing kept getting louder and louder.
Wow.
So I go, "Man, I gotta get out of here, man." So I started screaming for Buddy, like, "Buddy!" Yeah, I'm just screaming, man, the loudest I could scream. And he wasn't even turning around or nothing. He was in a trance too. So I'm like, "Oh man." I go, "I'm not leaving here without Buddy." I go, "That's my best friend." I go, "I would never live with myself without him." After all we've been through in the last year, that's all I had. So I go, "I'm getting him." So I started, I was cussing this thing. I go, "You come around that tree, man, I'm lighting you up." I go, "I'm armed." I go, "I will kill you. I don't want to. I'm not here to harm you. But if you come around the tree and mess with my dog or me, I go, I'm shooting you, man. I go, I'm dropping you dead, man. All 12 rounds are going into your head and your chest, whatever you are." And I had the gun pointed up to the tree, and I'm screaming at Buddy. So I'm like, "Well, I got to get him." So I'm inching up there, taking baby steps. And I'm right-handed. So I'm very strong in my right arm than my left. I had to pick Buddy up with my left because I'm not a very good shot with my left arm. So I wanted to make sure I had my gun trained to that tree, trying to grab Buddy. And I'm still talking to it. I said, "Hey, I'm getting my dog and I'm getting out of here." I go, "You'll never see me again." So I get Buddy up on my lap and I back up. And it was hard, man, but I did it. And the whole time I'm looking up where his chest would be if he come around that tree. That's the first place I was going to blast him. Get that heart. And I was going to rapid fire into that heart.
Wow.
And I could almost feel he was coming. I guess how scary it was. But I made it back to the car. I got Buddy in the back seat, slammed the door, jumped in, and backed up to the lake, where the damn road started to go up to the main road. So I'm like, crap, all my stuff's up there on the picnic table. And you know, like Leroy knows I'm a heavy smoker. And I was shaking like a leaf on a tree. And I needed a cigarette bad. And I left my cooler and everything up there, my cigarette. So I said, well, screw that thing. I said, I'm going up there and getting my stuff.
Wow.
And I mean, you can call it being brave, being stupid, or just, I don't know, but I'm the kind of man that don't like backing down from, you know, anything. And I had a right to be out there. You know, so, hey, I was going to get my stuff and I'm leaving.
Wow.
So I pull them back up, I hit my bright lights, and I just glanced up on that tree, and there's a big black arm. I mean, it's like a white oak tree, a 4 foot wide white oak tree. There's this big black arm I could see from the elbow down to the fingers, you know, big black cigar fingers. And his thumb was kind of cocked in there. You know, like I learned later, that's what they do. I seen this long black hair, you know, hanging down.
Wow.
So I'm like, oh my God, man. I go, that's a monster. I go, man, there's a monster in Indiana. I go, what? I go, God.
Wow.
I know. So I drove back up to the picnic table. I was right there. I could almost grab my stuff out of the window. And I opened my door just enough to step out, grab it. I said, I had my gun out to you again. Like, look, I'm just getting my stuff. I go, and I'm out of here. I go, you'll never see me again, man. And that dog was still sitting there. And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, Lord, what are you doing to me tonight? So I'm like, nah. I said, I'm not risking it, man. You know, like when I said that, when I told this story at Leroy's camp out, you know, I got kind of emotional because you know, I left that dog there. But you know, I'm not a superhero. I had to think about me and my dog before anything. Yeah, just like you know, I'm sorry for the dog. I hope him the best.
Yeah.
But I got back in the car and I rode back to Jeffersonville, about an hour away, 66 miles from here. And all the way down, I kept thinking of that Patterson Gimlin film that my dad let me watch back when I was in grade school. It wasn't on in 67 when he filmed it. It was like 68 or 69 when it was gaining popularity. Johnny Carson had him on the show, the Tonight Show, back when there was only 3 channels. And it was a Friday night. My dad let us stay up late and watch it. And you know, and I'm asking Dad, I go, what is that, Dad? He goes, I don't know, some kind of monkey man. I mean, you know, nobody knew nothing about Bigfoot back then.
Wow.
And a lot of people don't know much about him today either. But,
Yeah.
but I kept thinking about that. I'm like, well, if that's what that was, I thought that thing was out in California. How the hell did he get to Indiana? And then as time went on, I figured out Indiana was a hotbed for them. And there is more than one. And they're all over the country. So yeah, it was crazy that night. But I call that my awakening.
Wow.
That's what brought me into what people call the Bigfoot world.
Wow. I have another question, but Leroy, do you have any thoughts, or do you want me to just go to the next question?
I just agree with Greg there that, you know, same way. I didn't think there was any Bigfoot in Indiana. I would have never really thought that until several years ago.
Wow.
I didn't think the woods in Indiana was deep enough. Maybe out west, you know, up in Washington State, California, really Canada, Alaska, places like that. But around here, I thought there's no way.
Wow.
And then to come to find out that they're just right out my back door, it's kind of surprising.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's one of the most squatchiest places in Indiana, right out your back door.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Exactly. I grew up in a very squatchy area and had no idea that they was there.
That's amazing.
Yeah, hey,
Okay.
well, it must be, like you said, when Finding Bigfoot went there, they don't go just anywhere,
Right.
No,
even though they didn't find nothing, but it ain't normal. But yeah,
yeah,
they went there. At least they put Morgan Monroe on the map. I don't know if that's good or not, but a lot of people know about it now.
yeah. A lot of people know about it now, and
Yeah.
we put out a lot of information too. So that's drawn a lot more.
Hoosier and
Yeah.
Yellowwood and
Yeah,
all the way down, right? It's
yeah,
wild.
yeah. From really, well, really all across Indiana.
Wow.
A lot of people say there's nothing in northern Indiana, which is not true. They're all
Mm-hmm.
over northern Indiana too. But once you
I've
get
heard
south
that.
of Indianapolis, you start getting in the hills from where I live in central Indiana all the way down into southern Indiana where Greg's at, and you get down in
Wow.
there, and that's just you're getting into Squatch heaven down through that area.
Wow. Can you talk about that experience in the teepee when you had a full-on visual, along with finding cougar tracks the next day? I seem to recall you said that as well about cougar tracks the next day.
Yeah, this is another incredible encounter.
Mm.
I mean, that's why a lot of people can't swallow all the stuff that happens to me. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It happens, and it happens a lot. And this is one. I think my phone's getting ready to die. If it does, I'll turn it right back on.
I think the phone just went.
Yeah, I don't
Oh.
know what's going on, but yeah, this was a July 4th weekend, and I was off 4 days over the holidays. And my son come up with a harebrained ideal. This is back in the early days. This is probably
Still working.
I mean, I'm terrible with dates, but yeah, except for the first one and then the other one next, that was 3 years to the date almost. And this one here was probably I was working at Reynolds, so it was probably about 2009, 2010. But with me and Eugene, we went out there and he come up with an ideal going to the forest and building a teepee, sleeping in it for 3 nights, living like the forest people with bare minimum food, water, hardly nothing. And I'm like, well, I said, whatever, man. I go, yeah. And we did this right at Ground Zero, where I had a couple of encounters earlier throughout the years. So I figured this would be a great spot. And this wasn't by a trail or nothing. This was out in deep woods. But yeah, I'm out, building this teepee. Yeah, and we built a nice shelter. We spent all day Friday building it. We were going to camp in it for 3 nights. So the first night went by, not much happened. Actually, Friday night came and gone, and we hung around all day Saturday. And Eugene brought his guitar. So we had a fire pit and had a fire right in front of the teepee. And it was a real hot weekend when had shorts on. That was it. And we even did a Facebook Live that Saturday night where a big blue orb went right in front of us and dove into a tree right to the
Wow.
left of us. That was the first thing that happened. Then we heard a tree knock inside that tree where that thing dove into the tree. So we was trying to figure out what's going on with that. So then Eugene, he gets all serious and he goes, I'm going to ask the forest elder a question. So it was a pretty personal question about what's going on now. Basically with all the world it is, and he asked, basically, is the revelations of God true that there will be 7 years of trials and tribulations before He appears again? And immediately after Eugene asked that question, we heard a
Wow.
equivalent to a human going, So he freaked out. He's like, Dad, I told you. I go, it's gonna happen. And you know how young people are, conspiracy theories, all this shit. I mean, society's messing their brains up. So I'm like, look, dude, I'm sure it's gonna happen one day. Maybe it is coming amongst us. I mean, who knows when Christ is going to come back again? But for that answer after he asked that question, it was very compelling. So anyway, yeah, we went to bed that night, man. Everything was pretty much died out. It was like 2:00, 2:30. So I lay down on the left side of the TP. He was on the right, and I couldn't get to sleep. There was a root in my back. So Eugene said, "Hey, you want to switch places, Dad?" I said, "Yeah." I go, "There's a big root in my back." So he goes, "I'll manage." So about a half an hour passed, and I heard this real like rumbling. So I'm like, "Oh crap, man, we're gonna get soaked in this teepee." Yeah, I thought it was thunder. It kept getting closer, and then I could make it out. Boom, boom, boom. It was something very large, ground pounder, what I called it. I mean, each step getting louder and louder. So I'm like, holy shit, man, there's one walking up here. He's right on a creek, and he's walking up the creek. And we're right about, where he's right next to the teepee. You know, I kind of glanced out, there was gaps in the wood. You could look out, and there's a full moon. I mean, bright as could be, like a spotlight, man, shining down on us. And I could see his thigh and his buttocks, and it was just enormous. I mean, it looked like a tree trunk. So I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, oh man. So he went right in front of the fire, or not in front of it, but in back of it, looking down into the teepee. And I'm standing there or sitting there with my elbows looking up at him. And I could see him really good, the full moon. We had a little fire there in the pit. He was standing right there by the fire. I mean, 4 feet from us, 4 feet. And he had big black, like puppy eyes, very calm looking. He wasn't grunting, growling, standing there looking at me. And you could ask anybody, my goal into this is to, meet one face to face, hugs, handshakes, the whole 9 yards, man. I want to walk with him, talk with him. I go, is this it? Does he want me to come out?
Wow.
Because I was frozen, paralyzed. I had my flashlight and my gun and my knife right next to me. I always bring my spotlight. I call that my Squatch repellent. If things get too hairy, you light that up, and they'll take off. They're scared shitless of white light. They do not like it, and they don't want to be around it. So I couldn't even reach for that. It was just me and him. So I'm like, oh man, what should I do? So he kind of pivots to the left, like he's leaving. And then he turned back around and looked at me one more time, and it was just going right through me. Yeah, I used to hear people say, oh yeah, and his eyes went right through. I know that feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, the feeling was just overwhelming. Of what was happening. So as I wanted to go out so bad, but like I said, I couldn't move, and I guess I wasn't ready for it. I don't know if I'd be ready for it if it happened again. I can never call that till it happens. I mean, I will tell everybody, I do get scared. I do get intimidating. And a lot of times it can be downright frightening. But I always come back alive, so it's not as bad as it sounds. But anyway, he gave me that last look. He pivoted back towards the creek where he just walked up out of. He took one step over the creek, and we could hear him walking up the ridge there. So then Eugene popped in my head. I'm like, oh my God, Eugene. So I look over to my right, and he's sitting at a 90, You know, his eyes are like this. And, you know, if anything happened to him, I wouldn't know what to do with myself. So I had to make sure everything was all right with him. And I'm like, did you see that? And you could tell he was apparently in a mild shock. And he goes, no, yeah. And I go, man, yeah, I was shaking, dude. I mean, it was just incredible.
Wow.
So I started getting up and I'm going out. Eugene goes, where you going, Dad? I go, I'm putting more wood on the fire, son. I go, I don't think I'm going back to bed, man. So he got up and built the fire back up. And we just sat there, man, for an hour. Didn't even say nothing to each other, just sitting there. So I got up with my spotlight, went over in the creek, and there was a big ass cat print. You know, people say there ain't big cats in southern Indiana. Bullcrap. This was a mountain lion size of a print. Just one of them within 20 yards of us in the creek. So I told Eugene, I said, hey, look. And we pieced it together. It was very fresh air. And the biggie come down there and run the cougar off. That cougar was probably ready to pounce on us.
Wow.
Easy prey laying in that open teepee in there sleeping. What better of a meal? I mean, when a hungry animal's hungry, he don't care if there's one or two of y'all. They don't fear humans. So, I mean, it might have been the case, or he might have wanted to give us what we wanted. A good encounter.
Wow.
A good look at him. But I will never forget this one because he was 4 feet from me, and his shoulders were like 4 or 5 feet wide with bowling ball like shoulder tips connected to arms that look like telephone poles with a big head that just flowed into his body. Yeah, you hear about, you know, they don't have necks. Hell, this one sure didn't. I mean, he had a slope down off his head into his shoulders. I mean, that big, just a huge ass head, and his arms are just, and his chest and his abdomen. I can see the ripples. I mean, the most. I mean, like a god, man. He was built so good, and I couldn't believe it. I mean, I still picture it like it happened last night, and I've never seen one that close. And I haven't since. I want to. Maybe next time something like that happens, that's my goal. I want to have that personal one-on-one encounter with them.
Wow.
But that's where I gotta prepare myself mentally for it. Because I mean, everybody can say, "Oh, I'd be right." You don't know until it happens. But with incidents like that, maybe they're preparing me for the day when it does happen. And I mean, and I've seen a lot more of around the camp out or the campgrounds. I mean, everywhere in that forest.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing about me. It don't matter where I go. They follow me. Pennsylvania, Washington, Yellowwood, Morgan Monroe, Outstanding Kentucky.
Wow.
It seems like no matter where I go, I get activity by doing the same method that I use by talking to them and not bringing no equipment or none of that stuff. And so, I mean, I always wonder about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's mind blowing.
It is. I mean, hearing about it, I can't say, yeah. Also, I want to add that I know I'm leaving a lot out because there's a number of videos where you did very long, extensive interviews and you covered a lot of other stuff. And I kind of watched some and I asked just a few questions that I wondered about. And for anyone that wants to hear more, there's Squatchman TV. I'm not ending, but I just want to add this in because I, kind of skipped right to those two. And I have a few more questions, but you have some amazing shares, and I don't want to like ask you the same exact. You know what I mean?
Hey, yeah, I understand. Yeah, yeah, but you can only say so many stories. Yeah, I mean, I have so many interviews, so yeah, a lot of
Yeah,
my encounters have been repeated. Yeah,
they're great to listen to, and I want to encourage anyone to Squatchman TV, the YouTube channel, because you have some awesome stuff, and hopefully we'll do more, and then some awesome interviews that you've done on like pork and beans and a few channels that I've seen.
yeah, I've done a few on Vic Conda, but they were really good. Yeah,
Um,
I've had a lot of encounters, man.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah, I mean, what
experienced
can I
it.
say, dude? I'm the Squatch man. Yeah,
Yeah,
and and I think that's my calling to the world. Yeah, and I share my story to, yeah, people can believe me or not, but that's why I'm friends with a lot of people that know what I can do. Both of y'all have seen it firsthand.
yeah,
And another thing, I mean, a lot of people that have interviews, one interview, man, it don't even sound like the same thing happened on the next interview. I mean, you listen to all my interviews, every detail's down, every incident is well documented and told by the best of my knowledge,
yeah,
which is the truth. When it happened and how it happened, and my story never changes. All my interviews, it's basically like listening to the same one. It's just
yeah.
like the first one, the Ferdinand charge. You know how many times I told that story? I didn't think people paid much attention to it. I had a buddy that went out there one night to go Bigfooting, and he said half of Ferdinand's high school was out there screaming and wood knocking. And they're like, where'd y'all have hear about Bigfoot out here? Oh, Squatchman. Yeah, they all heard the interview. So I mean, yeah, I mean, it's good. I'm getting the word out.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's good. Kids are interested in them. Because for whatever reasons, I mean, if you talk to officials, park rangers, I tried talking to them. Some of them, they're nice and everything, but they don't want to talk Bigfoot for some reason.
mm-hmm.
You
No, they
can't
don't.
tell me some guy that works and lives in the forest ain't had encounters with them. But it don't make sense. It's like they're trying to hide something.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't
Leroy,
want to talk to you too much.
Leroy, I was wondering, you've shared a little. Do you have something that comes to mind, that an experience with Squatchman, or?
I know that we've always had when we get down there, which I'm hoping to get back down to his area here in the next couple of months. But we always have a good time when we're down there. We had one super interesting night down there. One of the most interesting nights I've ever had was down there with
Wow.
him. But I still to this day, it's one of them that I really don't even like to talk about because I don't even know for sure what happened that night. I just know that it left me very very strange feeling. And
Wow.
that's the night that the ghost hunters come in
Okay.
the middle of the night, Greg.
That is wow. I've heard. Yeah.
And we had a lot of strange things going on around us, and it just really left. I still to this day I don't know what to think about it.
Wow.
Some of the things that was coming across the boxes and stuff was just really unbelievable.
Well, I'll tell you, I bore witness to what you told me, which is something happens when Squatchman is in the woods. And I witnessed this with, I don't know, 15 other people. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right, I'm going to go to the next one. What is your feeling about the forest people now? I know that you call them the forest people.
Yeah, yeah. Well, after I feel a lot more comfortable with them now. Yeah, I used to have a pretty good fear factor, especially getting the shit scared out of me in Ferdinand, and a couple more encounters. I mean, just seeing them, man, is kind of fearful.
Yeah.
So once I grew into knowing that they're not out there to hurt me,
Mm.
I could accept the fact. I could accept the fact that they wasn't gonna hurt me. So
Mm.
I come to the conclusion, man, that they're people.
Mm.
But then they live in the forest. I
Wow.
mean, after seeing them, they got faces like us. They're all different. They're all different colors. All their eyes are different.
Mm.
All
I
their
saw
eyes are
that.
different. And I don't know why this stupid phone, and maybe, but
Eyewitness.
y'all was talking about eye shine.
Yep.
They got red, amber yellow, white,
Yep.
whitish blue, green,
Right in
pink.
front of us. It was right in
Yeah,
front of
right. I
us.
mean,
It's
I've seen the whole spectrum, and I see it every time I go in the woods. Yeah, but then when I got it on tape, one saying Yahweh, then I played the Leroy's camp out, along with another one talking, talking in Squatch talk, I call it. Yeah,
Wow.
everybody there at the camp out heard it loud and clear, and it was verified by an expert, Mona Heagley, down there in Kentucky, Charlie Raymond's Bigfoot group. He's a sound expert, and he said it was non-human.
Mm.
So and I got one saying Yahweh, which is
Wow.
another meaning for God. So then I
Wow.
knew they were godly people, just like us. Apparently, if they use the word Yahweh, they're godly people, and they probably pray to God just like us.
Wow.
I mean, just because they don't look like us or anything else, don't mean that they're monsters or evil or demons. God created them, I believe,
Mm.
and I believe that they're people. They live in big groups. They got I wouldn't say wives, but they got mates. They have families. I mean, I got a family up there where I go all the time. I call him Big Red. He's huge. He's got red eyes. He's got a beautiful woman. She's got red eyes. They got
Wow.
three siblings. They all got red eyes. And almost every time I'm up there, I talk to Big Red a lot. I mean, he does stuff for me. I consider him a buddy of mine. I mean, I can almost virtually call him out by name. He loves the name Big Red. I've had him come up behind my tent, calling my name,
Wow.
Greg.
Wow.
Yeah, and I got witnesses of this. People
Wow.
sleeping to the left and right of me. They thought something was going on at 3:30 in the morning. They thought I was saying, get out. But no, it was a Bigfoot right behind my tent calling me out twice. I mean, stuff like that. I mean, stuff you wouldn't even think of. Yeah, and I never was much on the fact that, that they were a flesh and blood animal. If that was truly the case, then they would have been identified years ago. I
Mm.
mean, years ago. But, science don't even recognize them as being a real species. So,
Mm.
I mean, you'll never have an identification of them. So I mean, what's the point? Why? Because if that was the case, they were flesh and blood animals, one would be shot, one would be dead, one would be in a zoo, one would be in a circus, a cage, going around the
Right.
country in a steel wagon on exhibit.
Mm.
Uh, no animal's going to elude all the game cameras, all the hunters, all the big artillery these guys are taking out in the woods.
Mm.
That would be barely impossible for one to survive if that's all they was. But what are they? I got my thoughts, but I do know they're highly intelligent. They know your intentions. They know where your game cameras are. That they know if you got equipment. They know
Mm.
if you're out there to shoot them or hurt them. Um,
Wow.
yeah, they know everything. So I mean, can a big ape do all that? So I was asking myself all these questions, and I'm like, you're right, dude. They're people. They're not an ape. They're people. So no matter what, y'all call them the TV big shots or whatever, the showboats. They all say it's flesh and blood. All of them. But I'll stick to my guns. Again, I don't care what people think of me. I want the people to know the truth, and the truth is that there's a lot more to them than just being an animal, and I'll just leave it at that. And they're people.
I think a big difference between what we do compared to what you see on a lot of the TV and stuff like this from your big guys. I think most of them, they go around searching to try to find a Sasquatch. The difference is we know where they're at. We interact with them more than what they ever get a chance to. And we've learned their habits. We've learned what they do. And that's how you know so much. That's how we get to know so much. We know that they have forethought. We know that they have their young ones. This is stuff that we've seen, not being told by someone else, but we have experienced.
Wow.
So I had one of the guys from the BFRO come in last year and had him in Morgan Monroe, and that's exactly what he told me. He goes, I go all over the place just looking for one. He goes, you sit here and know where they're at. He goes, you experience more than what most people ever get to experience. And I think that's why it's like, Greg, that's why you can interact and bring them in, is because we've been around so much of it. We're lucky where we're at that we get that much activity. And that's why you pick up and learn so much, is because of all the different experiences that we have. And I think that it's pretty wild, and we're pretty lucky to be in the area that we're in to be able to have that much experience. It's like me, I'm 10, 15 minutes from a hot spot. I can be in a hot spot in 10 or 15 minutes from my home. Greg, you're not much different, are you? Just a few minutes and you can be in a hot spot. We're not.
Oh, yeah, sometimes as soon as you get out of the car.
Yeah, we're not traveling hours on end to go and say, is there something around here? Is there a Bigfoot even in this area? Let me see if there's something even here. No, we go out, and because we go to those areas, those Sasquatch, they know us. These forest people know us. And when you get there, they know that you're there.
Wow.
Yeah, it's almost like they're waiting.
Yeah, It's almost exactly. And when I talk about some of the wild stuff, it's like the wild stuff that we interacted that one night when I was down there with you. However we want to look at it, if it's right, they told us that night that they know each other, that they communicate with different ones across the states and everywhere, and we're knowing, it's like,
wow,
you're in southern Indiana, but the ones up here in central Indiana, they know who Greg Yost is. They know who the Squatchman is.
I believe that. It's weird, but I've heard. I believe that.
So when Greg comes up here, they know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that goes to the old saying that if one knows you, they all know you.
Yeah, if one knows you, they all know you. And they know us up here. They know Greg down there. So, yeah, if he comes up in this area, they know who he is.
Wow.
They know him. And I think that's where we get a lot more interactions and learn a lot more than what other people do. And I think that's why we get such good things. I know that's why Greg gets such good things.
I feel like what I experienced, I feel like from what I hear from all the different regions of the world, I really believe people like yourselves had an influence on the Sasquatch in that region.
Well, so many people, I hear so many people online and everything that talk about they're a big monster that everybody's scared about, that they're so threatening. And here in central Indiana, never really felt that. Have never really felt threatened. And and the fact is, Martin, you stayed with them for 5 months. If they
Still
was
here.
threatening, they would have done something to you.
They could kill me so easily.
They could have killed you so
Easily.
easily. They never did. They never did.
And I thought about it. I thought tonight they might kill me. I'm not going to lie. And I'm here.
Yeah, you're here.
So.
And the whole time, I mean, how many times have you heard, even the hot spots that you go in, Greg, do you hear about anybody coming up missing? Do you hear about
No, never.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear people going, "Oh, I was chased by Bigfoot, and Bigfoot almost killed me." And if he wanted to kill you, believe me, he would.
Yeah, if they wanted to kill you, they would. They might have been following you. They might have pushed you out of their area a little bit and said, "Hey, you're too close."
Yeah, exactly.
Move a little bit.
Yeah, just like people they don't like. Like we know a couple of them. They throw rocks at and stuff. They let you know.
Yeah, they'll let you know if they, but they're not going to hurt you. But they might push you a little bit to encourage you to leave that area.
Or maybe respect them more or something.
Exactly. And that's where I think a lot of it is. I think that's why Greg gets a lot, because he shows them respect. They respect him.
Yeah.
So they come out and they show him all the time.
Man, I got the feeling that they have much affection for him. Just that was my gut feeling that they love him.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it felt.
How many people have you heard you can actually talk to them and get them to do stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, I've never heard of nobody could do that, but I can do that.
I've seen it. It's crazy.
And I'll tell you a quick story. The best one ever. Like I say, I got so many good stories. I need to start writing books or something, man. Maybe make a little money off this, but I was with the people. Leroy's talking about Ernie and Denise. And I'm real good friends with them, and they're paranormal investigators. And Ernie basically runs Waverly Hospital. The most haunted place in the world, basically, they say. And he's like the manager there, the business manager. And they live in Louisville. They live like 10 miles from me. So I take them up there a lot. And this is back Memorial Day weekend, 2020. I was going to Washington at the end of the week. I was moving basically, but it never turned out. It never worked out, so I came back. But I raised my arms. I said, "Hey, look, man, I'm leaving to Washington." I said, "I may never be back here again." I said, "I just want to, thank y'all for all the good memories and the love you showed me over the years. It really saddens me. I got to leave. But that's where my son's heading, and I got to go with him. I go again. I appreciate the love. And I would just like for you to do something for me. Something I could take out west with me. Something very loud. Something just crazy. I go, unforgettable. Could you do that for me?" I said, "I pray for this." And I had 4 people with me. Standing behind me watching. So then 30 seconds. Trees were being pushed over within 50 feet of us.
Wow.
One after another. I mean, it just sounded like a war zone over there. It was going nuts.
Wow.
Right after I asked this. So 8 trees in total that we counted got pushed over and broke.
Wow.
So Denise walks up there. She's like, "Hey, here's one up here, guys." And there was an Indiana oak right there on the side of the road, pushed over, leaning into another red oak on the other side of the road. And it came up by the root ball. they pushed this thing up out of the ground by the root ball, and
Wow.
they have something a
Wow.
bulldozer would have to do. And a storm moved through earlier, but it was moving to the east, and every time it lightened, it lit up the sky a little bit. But it wasn't no storm there, no wind, rain. When these trees are, well, it sounded like a hurricane. So
Wow.
we're all standing there 50 feet away, from where this happened. So all of a sudden, I started hearing like raindrops. So that tree that the one's leaning into, I mean, it's getting violently shooken. I mean, like, I mean, I'm talking a 2.5 foot Indiana oak, 100 feet tall, just literally just shaking like a branch. All of a sudden, yeah,
Wow.
we're looking up there, and me and Ernie can see a big black blob up there, about 30 feet up in the tree. And when all that crashing come to an end, he jumped down. We heard a big thud, and
Wow.
then running off into the woods. So we all go running back up there, and the tree that the other one was leaning in on the other side of the road, he shook it right up there about 30 feet up and broke it off so the other one go down. So what he did is come back to finish the job.
Mm.
So we're all standing there, man, and yeah, I'm just freaking. I go, Arnie, I cannot believe this. He goes, man, you asked for it. I said,
Wow.
oh man. I go, I did. I go, I can't believe it. So,
Wow.
so so we go back up to the picnic table. All it was just a little pull off in the forest. It wasn't a campground or nowhere, just a little pull off. And it had a little fire pit and a picnic table. That was it. So we're standing there, man, talking about it. And the lightning lit. And over to the right of me, there was 5 of them standing between 2 trees. I
Wow.
mean, some super big boys, shoulder to shoulder to shoulder, all the way across. I mean, taking up 30, 40 feet of real estate over there, 5 people. So I'm like, oh
Wow.
my God. I go, so I kind of like, like, oh man. I go, well, what's happening next to you, dude? And so, I'm always the one seeing them or pointing them out. I go, I'm not even going to say nothing, man. So then this Denise, Arnie's wife, goes, you're not going to believe what I just seen over there. So I'm like, what? What'd you see? He goes, I seen 5 very large forest people standing over there between them 2 trees. As I
Wow.
go, give me a high five. She goes, what? I seen them too.
Oh my
And her
God.
daughter was there. She goes, I seen them too, but I couldn't believe what I was seeing. So not only did they push down 8 trees for us, come back, finish the job on the one, making it 9, but they showed us who the people were that did it.
Wow.
And I mean, well, what a blessed night, man. I mean,
Oh my God.
and I told Ernie, I said, hey, man, it don't get no better than this. I said, this
Mm-mm.
is the most epic encounter I've ever had. I mean, I'd rather have this happen than seeing them. We
Wow.
got both. We got all the trees pushed over. We got to see the guys who did it.
Wow.
And yeah, just stuff like that, man. You don't know when it's going to happen, where it's going to happen,
Mm.
but you know it's going
Mm.
to happen. So I always tell
Unbelievable.
everybody, expect the unexpected.
Wow.
And that sums me up in a nutshell. And I will say every night, every time out ain't like this. A lot, I mean, not a lot, but a few times, zilch, nothing. And I contribute that to, well, let's see, there's somebody in here they don't like. There's a couple
Okay.
people in here they may not like. They're very sensitive people.
Mm.
And why do they want to show off the people they do not like? Just like us, if you want to show off to somebody you don't like, I
Mm.
don't even want to be around somebody I don't like.
I think the phone froze.
Yeah, I think his phone froze.
That's a heck of a story.
Yeah.
And I feel like someone like you heard it secondhand from one of the other people.
Yes, the night they come back in, it was a year later. that I was down there and that group come in, and one of them told me the exact same story that Greg had said.
Mm,
You know,
that's unreal.
Greg was over talking to some other people, and this guy starts telling us that he told us the very same story that Greg had told us earlier
Wow.
about what had happened that night.
Man, I was just thinking, you and I and a group of people last summer were sitting there, and a few of us could see kind of where I was facing, and it was like there was sort of buildings, and there wasn't a lot of opening, and right where the opening was, there was clearly a big, huge, from the very way up high, just crashed down. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if it was a tree or what, but there was disturbance way up, and it really seemed like it was for us.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah,
that was something.
yeah. You always end up having something like that happen.
I mean, yeah, you guys. I mean, yeah, but uh, as I've met you and people around that area and stuff, it's something special there. And you guys, I know from talking with you, you keep things close to the vest. If, when you meet you at first, I have no idea how much that you've heard, and it's something.
Yeah, well, I'm not one to try to go out and boast a bunch.
Yeah, it's
You
just it is what it is,
know.
right?
Yeah, and I'm as skeptic as they come.
Yes, I
Is
noticed that,
is the deal, you know.
and you're also protective of them. I think
Yeah,
everyone that you know is it's special, it's sacred. It's like the vibe I get from you guys, it's like family. And
yeah. I myself, I wouldn't want any of them that's in our area anything to happen to them. I'd rather protect them than try to expose them and show them.
yeah,
You know. So, yeah, we talk about it. We tell people they're out there, whether they believe it or not. That's all right, but I don't want to take everybody and their brother and show them where it's at. And there's some people that I definitely wouldn't do it.
yeah.
You know. And
So I'm
and
not sure. Just wondering with his phone. I don't. Hopefully he can reconnect. But I mean, uh, I had like two more questions, but that was if it ends there, that was pretty good.
yeah, yeah. If it ends here, I think it'll be all right.
Yeah. But I'll definitely wait it out. I've got my Facebook open because that's the way I talk to him, and I'm guessing possibly his phone died. But I'll give him a second if he tries to recharge it. And it's been something. My life changed when I met you guys.
That was just about a year ago.
I was just going through all my taxes and all the dates, and just memories, harmony, and meeting you guys, and you're one of the very first people I spoke with that in person because I'd researched online, and having someone tell me directly to my face with a straight face was eye opening.
Eye opening.
To say the least.
To say the least. And then,
I mean, I'm like, they're serious because it's like I was a pretty strong believer, but it's a lot. It's a lot
it's a lot to take in.
a lot. Yeah.
It is a lot to take in, and you have to question yourself all the time. And am I really sane?
And at least,
In what I'm experiencing, is this real?
yeah,
Is there an explanation for what we just experienced?
yeah,
And sometimes there's just not. You don't have an explanation. You can't go, I seen it. I physically seen it do it. In most cases, you can't say that.
yeah,
You're like, okay, what else was it?
right,
You know, and it's hard to wrap your mind around.
yeah.
So if you're a non-believer, you're not going to believe any of it.
One of our friends visited me. I might have told you, I forget, but I'll share it again. You talked about or Greg talked about sometimes when nothing happens, you wonder maybe they don't like someone. And one of our friends came and sat with me, and we sat by the campfire. And just as I was mentioning, I pointed right over there. I'll often hear something land. And eventually I kept hearing something land right there. I think it took me a long time to think, is that like being tossed? And eventually I thought, yeah, I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is. And it left kind of no doubt the night when they were there, because I mentioned that spot and then something landed there.
Yeah.
And then I said, did you hear that? And they said, I did. And then sometime soon after, there was like 2 objects that landed in that same spot. And it then one more came and like tapped the leg of their chair. Like it stopped right at the edge, like just ding. And if that wasn't enough, there's the canopy above, and I have the stack of wood under the canopy so it stays dry. And something like came across and hit the wood.
Yeah.
There's no way nothing could drop.
Straight down.
And so it was kind of even if you feel like you know someone's tossing it, it's nice to get this really tangible that had to be thrown, that had to be tossed.
Yeah. Well,
I forget. I think it like bounced like sideways or something. It was obvious that it like came this way.
I've heard things coming through the leaves from the side, and then bounce in right beside you, and you know that didn't drop straight down.
I've heard that.
Yeah, that didn't drop straight down.
You can hear something go through the trees horizontally.
Yeah, you hear it go through the trees like that and coming in at you.
Yeah.
That's it's a little bit different. It's like you was saying. You spend enough time out there. Not every night did you have things dropping around you.
No.
Well, if it's natural, it would be naturally happen all the time.
Yes.
But then you have certain nights that, like you're saying, you hear things.
Yes.
Like this is not normal.
Yes. Yeah. And there was one time, there was a couple that stood out. One time I tangibly, a large object, possibly a big stick, I went through the woods, and I literally heard like the voop, like when it released from someone's hand.
Yeah.
And through the trees, and kind of a medium crash. I loved hearing something like that, and it was not very often at all, but a couple times I heard like the cats right behind you. It's like a nice picture there, and that was something. Like you could just hear something fly, and if you're at wherever you are, you get a sense if there could possibly be people back there. Most of the areas that we've been to, you couldn't even sneak around. There's leaves everywhere.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Yeah.
And then plus, like where you was at, you'd know if someone was back there.
There's no
if they
way.
Was back there, they had to come by you to start with.
There's no other way, and you can't sneak back there. You can't walk through there in the dark without a flashlight. No way.
You're not going to walk through there at night without a flashlight.
Have fun in the daytime.
Yeah, without making a bunch of noise.
Oh, it looks like he's coming back. Here he is. Yes. Heck yeah.
Hey, I'm back.
Heck yeah.
All right.
I lost my internet. I don't know what the hell happened.
Okay.
Well,
I'm having a rough time, man, with this stupid phone.
You got to get going, Leroy?
Yeah, I'm going to get going. And
thank you.
Leave you and Greg to be.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully I'll see you before long, Martin.
I hope so.
Hopefully we'll see you before long. And Greg, I want to get down there here in the next couple months. Come down to your
I
area.
will. I have another camp out for the group.
I want to go too someday.
I'd like to have everybody come down.
Yeah, so
Yes.
I'd like to come down there and go camping some weekend.
Me
Here
too.
before long.
Hell
All right.
yeah. Yeah,
Well, you
we'll get
guys.
something.
All right.
Hey,
Well, you
nice
guys
talking
have.
to you, Leroy.
All right.
Thank
You
you.
guys have a good evening. All
Have a
right.
good night,
Thank you
man.
so much.
All right.
Thank you.
You too, buddy.
If I can get off of here.
Yeah. Once you're off, I'll
I see you got your little buddy up there on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Later.
Let me remove that. And should I just go to the next question? I think I have 2 or 3 more. Or if you're
Yeah,
good.
go ahead.
All right. I didn't think too many because I knew each of them is amazing in themselves. And okay, we'll just see what comes up here. All right. Can you talk about how you began to develop an understanding of them that is perhaps friendly or even like family?
Yeah, yeah, I can definitely yeah, relate to that. Yeah, because I do feel like I'm family with them. That's why I get so much stuff with them. You know, a lot of people said I'm a chosen one.
Hmm.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah, because you know, they can relate to me, and they can relate to me, and they know what kind of guy I am.
Hmm.
Yeah, you know, and it's all about heart, and they know I would never hurt them. I've never made a dime off of them, but I feel that they want me to get the truth out about them. You know, that they're not some big evil creature
Hmm.
out there eating humans. You know, that they're nice family type people.
Hmm.
I
Wow.
mean, you never hear, yeah, you never hear about the stories, you know, about them helping people. Like the little boy that got lost in North Carolina for 3 days. He said
Yeah.
a bear helped him. No,
Hmm.
that wasn't a bear. Bear would have ate that little boy.
Right.
Yeah, that was a female Sasquatch taking care of that boy. I know
Wow.
my stupid phone's acting like a dump.
It's not bad on this
Yeah, but
end.
that's what happened. She took care of that little boy.
Wow.
And if they were evil monsters, they probably would have ate that boy too.
Wow. That's true. You can't deny that. And they probably would have eaten me too. I you know, I was,
Yeah,
you know where I
I
was.
mean
I
that night
wasn't.
I had that encounter we talked about in the teepee.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know if yeah, I'm sorry this phone keeps going off and on, man. But
Not
yeah,
bad
just
from
like
over
into
here.
the night in the teepee. Yeah, if he went out to
Yeah.
hurt us, he could have ripped us apart, man, like pretzels. So
Wow.
I mean, I just feel that they keep wanting to get closer and closer to me.
Okay.
I mean, I'll tell you a story that's pretty, yeah, pretty wild, man. Another great encounter. These people in Titusville, Pennsylvania, they came down and picked me up and wanted to do an interview up there. They got like a studio,
Okay.
Cryptomania, up in Pennsylvania. Tommy Cooper and Jay Witowski, my man Jason Trost.
Okay.
Yeah, well, they wanted me up there for a show and take them out. And the first night I was there, it was snowing out that night, and they got me a room in this motel. And I had the room all the way at the end of the hallway. It's just a one level hotel, nothing fancy, in a little town of Titusville. And it's kind of like on the end of town, but there was houses around. So anyway, yeah, I was sitting there, man, in my room, getting ready to go to bed, sitting on the end of my bed, and I heard a couple of taps on the window, and I started feeling real energized. And I feel real energized when they're around me. My hair stands up. It's very energetic,
Yeah.
and I felt that. So I'm like, oh, no way, man. They can't. So I brushed it off and I went to bed. But I did look before I went. I opened the curtains. There wasn't nothing there. So next morning I woke up and I really felt great, man. I mean, I felt really good that morning. And I opened up the drapes. And it was fresh snow out on the ground. And I looked back over and there was railroad tracks there, an abandoned sawmill, a nice flowing creek. I think it was Oil Creek, Pennsylvania, Oil.
Yeah.
And there was a big mountain on the other side. So I'm like, oh, it's pretty nice country up here. So I looked down underneath my window, and there's all kinds of footprints underneath. So I looked around. I didn't see no other ones. I started looking out more, and they were coming in from down off that mountain. There was 3 trackways with big ass feet. So I'm like, oh my God. So I run outside, man, and I'm looking at them. And classic Squatch strides, for 4.5 feet strides.
Wow.
Big feet, but not just 1, 3.
Wow.
2 were walking side by side, and 1 was to the left of them, about 10 feet.
Right to your
and
window.
They walked all that distance.
Wow.
Down off the hill, across the creek, through the sawmill, through the field, right up to my window.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the guys were coming to pick me up that morning. So that they got there and, needless to say, it blew their mind.
Wow.
They took documentary of it, filmed it, the whole 9 yards, and, it blew their minds.
Wow.
That they would do this. So
No
they came all the way, like Leroy's talking about. It seems like they know me everywhere I go.
I was just
It
thinking
don't matter how far away, how close,
Wow.
they know me.
Wow.
'Cause I had 3 of them come up to my window that night, man. I mean, it almost, what can words say to that?
Nothing.
It's just unbelievable.
Wow.
And it's just more stuff that my beliefs
Mm.
that, they're capable of this kind of stuff. And I know firsthand. I've seen it.
Wow.
So again, like Leroy said, it's best to experience stuff and learn the truth firsthand. Listen to somebody you think knows the truth, but they really don't.
Wow. Yeah.
And so that's why I like getting the truth out. Enough of it ain't out there.
Yeah.
It seems like most people, want to go around the Bigfoot shows and talk and, sell their merchandise. Which is fine with me. I don't care what people do. But if you're going to speak to people that are paying, 30, 45, 50, I heard even as high as 60, 70 bucks to listen to you people talk, I would make sure you're going to tell them some good info, which ain't the case. From what I heard. Like I heard some guy that's been on TV shows, all over TV shows. He's got a Bigfoot museum. He's got a whole table full of books that he's wrote. Yeah, he's really what people believe is a wealth of information on the subject. So me and my friends went in there to listen to him, see what he was about. And one of the first things off the bat, he's talking about eye glow. He goes, there ain't no such thing with these creatures. They're flesh and blood animals, and they're not capable of eye glow. So I'm talking to my buddy. I'm like, yeah, that ain't true. And then he goes, and if you ever listen to people saying that Bigfoot's eyes glow, get away from them as quick as possible.
Wow.
They're hallucinating on drugs.
Wow.
So I told my buddies, I said, come on, let's get out of here. And this guy's so full of horse dung. It's just unbelievable.
Wow.
See what I
Wow.
mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I would never mention people's names, but that's
Yeah. That's.
like Leroy said, people see his stuff on TV and hey, well,
Mm.
this guy's an expert. He knows everything.
Mm.
But in reality, he knows very little.
Mm.
So that's why, I've only been in the public eye for 6 years, and I just got on Facebook at my son's urging to get the truth out.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have grown and grown, and like I said, people love me. They love the truth.
Yep.
The truth sells, and you don't see a lot of people like me in
No.
my beliefs.
No.
But what I've seen and experienced, I know better. I'm, I reached a plateau and I've almost made it to the top. And I would fit my stories, encounters, and pictures, up against anybody.
Mm.
And I'm not even out about evidence. Just think if I tried to get better evidence, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I might ruin the whole thing for me because they trust me. That's why I don't go that route.
Right.
Most of that stuff I sent you, that's from the early years.
Wow.
Uh, that's back when everybody was, laughing and joking. Normal people, like around the neighborhood at work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they all thought I was nuts. Bigfoot ain't real. Bigfoot ain't real. So I'm
Mm.
like, well, I'll show these people. I said, one day I'll get a picture of one and I'll prove to them that he is real. And I accomplished my goal.
Mm.
I mean, I got, at least 6 or 7 very good pictures.
Do you
I sent you a lot of them.
I could
And I got
insert.
one of the best dogman pictures out there.
Do you want me to put any of these like right in this video that we're like I could put them in here if you wanted me to, but I of course don't have to.
Yeah, if you want to, everybody knows they're mine.
Even like 2 pictures, or you could even tell me 2 or 3 to just put in here so some people could see.
Yeah, we'll fit the one up, the black and white one of Curious George.
Okay.
The one where he's hunched down like a football player. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. And the one of the dog man,
All right.
with the yellow glowing eyes, that's a really good one.
That's something.
And one of that eye shine, since we talked so much about eye glow, that's probably one of the best pictures you ever see of eye glow.
Or only
And my
ones.
friend Dan Lindholm took that picture when he came here all the way from Washington.
Wow.
He said he ain't never seen it. He's seen it here with me. He's been
Yeah,
doing it a long time too.
I
Yeah,
think
he was awed by it.
I might have once, but nothing like, and I wasn't sure. But with you, it was. I still can't believe it, honestly, because I didn't see that after either. It was I don't know what it is about you, but people told me that glowing eyes happen around you, and I saw
Yeah,
it. We had like
that's
2, 3
why.
people.
Yeah, I mean, people have a hard time believing. I believe in what I can do. Um, but that's okay. I know what I can do.
Yeah.
People like you and Leroy, I mean, I probably had 100 people that have come and have seen what they come to see.
Wow.
And it just makes me happy. It warms my heart
Yeah.
that people are experiencing
Mm.
stuff that I've been doing for years.
I heard the way that
And so it's like that they almost, they go out of the way to please the people with me.
you have a special way of talking to them. That was something. I watched you talk to them, and it was Like in the beginning, if you remember, it was like electricity in the air. I could feel it. Like you were like sending out energy or something. I don't know what was happening, but that was special.
Yeah, yeah, I'm a very high energy person.
Mm.
I radiate a good positive energy. I mean, everywhere I go, people feel this.
Yeah.
I worked at a Circle K gas station, and people come in and just, oh, she goes, oh man, you're so cool, and oh, I love your energy, and yeah, people can feel it,
Yeah.
and and I consider myself a good guy with a good heart. That's what got me so far in this, and no matter how bad life gets, I stay positive, I stay focused, and I put off good energy,
Mm.
and force people love it.
Yeah.
And that's why when I raise my arms like that,
Yeah.
it's like I'm generating my energy out into the forest.
That was something. I'll never
And they
forget
react
those
to it.
nights. That was.
And it hasn't just been you. A lot of people have felt my energy
Yeah.
in my way of the Squatch,
That's
uh,
something.
duplicated by no one. All original stuff I do.
Yeah.
And like I said, a lot of things I say are unbelievable.
There's
The bottom line is it's the truth. And I got
Yeah.
so many witnesses
Yeah.
who will come forward and acknowledge, what I can do.
That's what I mentioned.
So that's the good thing about it.
That's what I mentioned in the beginning. But also, I don't remember if Leroy said this when he introduced you, but what he said to me personally, he said, it's incredible what he does. They should do. They have these shows out there. They should do a show on this guy, just the way that he is.
Yeah, they should. I mean, but it doesn't have enough. Doesn't have enough fear in it,
Yeah.
or whatever the shows are looking for. I mean, I haven't even watched that one show, Expedition Bigfoot.
Yeah.
I watched Finding Bigfoot some, but that always went over as stuff that wouldn't work. Shooting off
Mm.
fireworks, having raves, and all that tree knocking and all that nonsense. Oh, that's what they do. They can do whatever they want to do. Their house screams. That's what the forest people do. I'm not going to go into their territory.
Mm.
I do what I do, and that's asking them to do stuff for me.
Wow.
Like Leroy said, I don't got to walk into the woods, go on a 20-mile hike in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, basically, since I get out of my car, it's on, game
Wow.
on.
Wow.
And I heard tree knocks. Uh, Me and my son went to the forest, and this is before he believed. As soon as we got out of my Jeep, woo, woo, woo. So I'm like, oh man, he goes, what's that? I go, that's a Bigfoot. I go, watch. So I answered him back 3 more. He
Really?
did 3. I did 3.
Wow.
And he did 3 more and stopped. And they were the most beautiful, loudest whoops you would ever hear.
Wow.
So he's like, all right, Dad. He goes, you are right. He goes, that was a Bigfoot.
Wow.
And later that weekend, we found a big footprint by a tree with white hair all over it, about 7 feet tall, like a shoulder rubbed up against this pine tree. And there was a lot of hair particles in the tree. I'm
Wow.
like, yeah, look at this, Eugene, a twofer. He goes, what's that
Wow.
mean? Got 2 pieces of evidence at the same spot, a footprint and a hair.
Wow.
And that was back in the early days. That's back when we didn't know what was going on. We're finding all this stuff.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to find evidence.
It is.
I mean, footprints, some people never find them. I have found some. I think I got that one I told you about tonight, the 10 to 12 foot one. He likes walking that creek. I found
Wow.
this big footprint in the creek, a hard, dried up creek, almost like concrete. Yeah, I
Wow.
sent you the impression. You seen it.
Mm.
Well, that cast is out at the Montana Vortex. Got my good friend Joe Hauser owns and operates it, and he had some in his display case out there. He's got a lot of Bigfoot stuff there in the like a little museum, and I gifted him 2 of them out there, plus a picture of Curious George hanging out from around the tree. I sent you a picture,
Mm.
and yeah, it's just amazing what I find. And like I say, this is nothing. I go out there, no audio equipment, no cameras, definitely nothing night vision, thermal, infrared. Yeah, I mean, some people might catch something with that, but most times people using them are on the shows. Like, oh, I got a thermal hit. And it turns out to be a deer, a cow, anything but a squatch. Yeah, because I think they can tell when people got these things, and they're not going to show themselves. Somebody with me, like me with nothing, like, oh, there's their buddy Greg. Yeah, here they come running.
It's crazy. That's
So
nuts.
that's one thing, if anything, that I mainly learned. That's
Yeah.
to take what is giveth. Don't ask for nothing more. I mean, they call the shots. I can only ask.
They call the shots.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I'll ask them nothing,
Wow.
but most of the times, like I say, 7 out of 10 times, which is pretty good odds. Stuff will start. Just like up there.
Yeah.
30 people back there. I didn't even know most of them.
Yep.
I just met you. Yeah, but I do what I do.
We were seeing stuff in like 5 directions, hearing stuff. We glowing eyes to the left, to the right, flashes of lights, and there was no one back there doing light tricks. That was
no, it's streaks of light.
no, but you could.
My friend.
You could feel it. You could feel. You talked about like the electricity in the air. You could make your
you
hand.
can feel the energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the forest people are all about energy. When there's a lot of them gathered, I mean, it's a big energy field. And like you said, there's groups all around that turn there. And I heard oohs and ahs and look. Yeah, everybody was seeing stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, so much stuff you couldn't see it all. Where I was at, there was stuff to the right happening, to the left, in front of me.
Yep.
My friend Richard, he said he seen Big Red.
I remember that.
2 big red eyes. That might have been Big Red coming to hang with me.
Yeah.
You just never know.
Yeah. I think I have like maybe 2 questions. Are you good for like 2 more?
Yeah.
Okay. I think you'll like them. Let's see.
No problem.
I didn't ask the average stuff, I don't think. Oh yeah, that's what I thought this was the next one. Can you talk about how you came to find out they named their son after your son? I know that's not your average question, but I know that this has happened.
No, that's a good question, and it did happen. They named one of their offsprings after my son.
Wow.
Which is highly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what to say.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, unbelievable. But I got a friend.
An honor.
Parker Duvall. He's Parker Duvall. He's a good friend of mine, and we're both on the same wavelength. Yeah, we're all about energy.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just like brothers. There's people like me, and I found quite a few.
Okay.
This guy lives in Kentucky, so he's pretty close to me. So he comes up a lot. We have seen some crazy stuff out there. I mean, crazy stuff. But on this one night, he brought his family up, and I said, I go, yeah, I got donuts and everything back at the gifting stuff. I got a gifting stuff. I didn't talk about this tonight, but I gift them about stuff about 100 feet behind the camp. They come up and take gifts, and sometimes they leave me gifts.
Wow.
Donuts, bananas, whatever. And Parker went back there with his family, his wife, his daughter, and his son. And they came back up, and yeah, you tell something happened. The son looked white as a ghost. His eyes were real wide. He's standing over on the side of him. So Parker goes, yeah, I need to ask you a question. I mean, just like that, real serious. Like, yeah, what do you need, bud? He goes, well, what does Clarence mean to you? I go, well, that means everything. I go, that's my son's middle name. I named him after my Uncle Clarence, a farmer here in Indiana, a great man.
Getting
And
goosebumps
I
over
named
here.
him Eugene after my dad, Eugene Clarence.
Wow.
I go, he goes, well, you ain't going to believe this. He goes, they just mind spoke to me. They said, tell the big man, that's what they call me, the big man, that we named one of our
Wow.
offsprings Clarence in his
Wow.
honor, because we love him.
Wow.
And Parker kept having a problem. Clarence, he goes, that can't be right. I never heard of a name like that. So he goes, did I hear you right? And it said it again to him.
Wow.
Clarence, Clarence. Yes, you heard us right. So he goes, yeah. He goes, well, don't say nothing to my son. But Clarence appeared, and he was staring at my son from 10 feet away, flesh and blood form, and he felt the love from him, coming from him.
Wow.
Right now, I look at him. I looked over at him, and he's like, so I'm like, okay, I'll let the young man, soak up what had just happened.
Mm.
And that's that.
Wow.
So he came back just a couple months ago and brought his son again. His son was standing over by the woods. Started walking into the woods. Parker, he goes, well, where are you going, son? He goes, I'm getting a very strong feeling here. And Parker's like, well, what kind of feeling? Like calmness and love.
Wow.
And Parker's like, see, look. He said, they're right there by him, man. He's feeling their energy. So yeah, I mean, that was pretty damn awesome right there.
Wow. Yeah. Oh my God.
But yeah, they named one Clarence, man. Which
Wow.
we call him out a lot too. He'll come. He's got amber yellow lights. Clarence ain't so little no more. He's getting to be a big man.
Mm. Man. That's something.
And and the reason people say they can cloak and do this or do that. I don't know what you want to call it, but I know for a fact that they can turn invisible.
Mm.
I was having a camp out. There's a number of us up at the fire, sitting around the campfire. This was in mid-afternoon. Bob, Spencer, and Debbie, you know them. They always go to the campouts.
Yeah.
We were sitting there, and his wife brought us Arby's for lunch.
Nice.
So we're sitting there eating. There was like 8 or 9 of us. All of a sudden, we felt this real musky, stinky-ass smell, like you hear about Bigfoot's having. And everybody's like, you smell that? You smell that? And Bob's wife's over, turning red as a beet, giggling. And Bob's like, Rita, what the hell's going on with you? She's like, it feels like there's a man over here sniffing on my neck.
Oh wow.
She's 80 years old. 80 or
Wow.
82. Saying a man's over there sniffing on her neck. We're smelling this funk in the campground, and all of a sudden it leaves. And everybody's like, "What was that? What was that?" I go, "We had one right here." Then it
Wow.
came back like he was walking back through, and then it went away. Um,
Mm.
that could only be one thing. I mean, we smelled the smell, we
Yeah.
felt the energy, and Rita had her neck sniffed on. On a hot summer day, no
Mm.
wind or nothing blowing. I mean, when somebody's sniffing on your neck.
Wow.
So that's another great story, man.
No
We
kidding.
don't even got to leave the camp, man. They come right to us.
Wow. Wow. Let me see. I might have one more question. I forget what it might be. Let me see here.
Yeah, I'm good for one more.
Okay. Yeah, that looks like a perfect one to end on. If you could speak for the forest people, which I kind of think you are anyways, what would they like you to say about them? I like that for an ending.
Yeah, that's a good question to end on. Well, first of all, I would alliterate again that for the most part, the forest people are friendly, loving, godly people.
Mm.
Yeah, there might be some bad ones out there. There might be some mean ones out there. I don't know. I can't speak of that. I've never run across any bad ones or mean ones.
Okay.
All I have run across is peaceful, loving ones that like to show me stuff they can do,
Wow.
stuff they can. They live in the forest. That's their living room, their kitchen, their bedroom, their bathroom. That's their entertainment.
Mm.
That's their grocery store. They don't come out of that forest for nothing,
Mm.
and they're very curious about people. I mean, if they're around you, they like you. They're curious. Don't fear them. If you have a problem with them coming around your house or your yard and you don't want them to, put up spotlights and game trails, game cameras.
Yeah.
That will keep them away. They don't like that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, problem solved. But if you want to get to know them more, enjoy it. They come up and slap the side of your house.
That's so
Hey, they're
funny.
letting you know they're out there.
That's so funny when I hear about that.
Truth be
Three in the
known,
morning.
I mean, truth be known, they could bust through your house if they wanted to.
Yeah.
They're in a
Yeah.
glass window, going to hold one of them things back, or wood siding, whatever. Or they
Yeah.
could probably bust through bricks if they had to. Ram
Right.
it with a tree they just knocked over.
Mm.
I mean, they want to come get you, they'll get you. But
Yeah.
they're basically just playing with you. Again, you're entertainment.
Mm.
Um, they like doing stuff like that. And I would also tell people to keep in mind that, they're not game. Um, I don't think anybody should go out trying to hunt one. You would probably
Mm.
end up in David Pilates' Missing
Mm.
411 book, The Hunted.
Wow.
People
Yeah.
that go out trying to kill one,
Mm.
they're by themselves, they're heavily armed. And I think they run across one and try to shoot it, never to be seen or heard from again.
I could see that.
That's the worst thing you could do. I wouldn't even point a firearm at one,
Mm.
unless it was a life or death situation.
Mm.
And again, I go out there unarmed. Why? I let them know I'm not afraid.
Okay.
That's another key, I think, to my success. Um, I'm like, well, if I go out here with nothing, they're going to say, hey, well, this guy don't fear us. Yeah, he ain't got a gun. I mean, I know a lot of Bigfoot people that carry guns.
Okay.
I mean, that's
Mm.
each their own, whatever you want to do. But
Yeah.
I figured out that I get a lot more encounters without one.
Wow. Without a gun. Okay. I
And
just
another thing I would
wow.
tell about them is, they're not some big dumb ape. They're a highly intelligent being,
Okay.
um, and it's here on Earth. Has it always been on Earth? Did it come from somewhere else? I mean, there's all kinds of theories.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not going to alliterate on any theories
Mm-hmm.
because that's really not important. I mean, I really don't care where they're from. I know they're here, and I know there's a lot of them here. And I
Mm.
feel one day that man and Sasquatch will walk again together
Wow.
like
Wow.
they did before man got too corrupt, too evil,
Wow.
too mad. That's
Wow.
my beliefs. And I think I'm on the threshold of breaking um, into the Bigfoot family.
Wow.
I want to walk with him. I want to talk. I want to pick his mind. I want to eat dinner with his family. I
Mm.
want to meet his family. I want his family to meet my family.
Beautiful.
Eugene had a daughter. She's 3 months old. We took her to the camp. We were sitting there, dead quiet, no lights, no fire, nothing, just sitting there waiting. All of a sudden, we started hearing tribal drumming.
Really?
Very, very Native American sounding. Down 100 feet, 150 feet at the most, down in this creek area.
Wow.
Just on and on and on.
Wait, I feel like I've heard that once in a forest. Like, wait, I didn't think it was associated to me, but you got me
Hey, they
thinking
do it.
now.
It's the first
Wow.
time I heard it too. And
Wow.
then we figured out it was tribal drumming, welcoming Seraphine to the tribe, the
Wow.
newborn we had.
Wow.
And then we figured that was a ceremony because I've never heard that before.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, my little granddaughters, they love. Yeah, it's every time they see me, Paw, let's go find Bigfoot. Yeah, she's
Really?
4 years old.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, she's not afraid of them. Uh, yeah, it's just who you go out with and who you listen to and who do you want to believe.
Yeah.
But I can guarantee you everything I do, say, and say on these interviews is 100% truth. And like I said before, I've got hundreds of eyewitnesses that have seen me in action. And any of my encounters over the
I'm one.
20, 21 years, I would go on any FBI lie detector test and prove that all my stories are true and accurate,
Wow.
even though that I know they are anyway.
Right.
Just with the eyewitnesses, like Ernie and Denise with the trees.
Unbelievable.
Um, yeah, there's another one that is a very incredible story that didn't involve me, but involved two of Ernie's friends from Tennessee, two Sheilas. One was a gunnery sergeant in the United States Marine Corps, 20 years, Iraq war service. She was a combat veteran. They came up her one of the Bigfoot experience.
Wow.
And to make a short story out of it, they
Mm-hmm.
went back to the gifting stump. Something come crashing in up out of the woods on them. She said it was 9 or 10 feet tall and his eyes were glowing. They kind of took off running, and one of them tripped over a log. The other one went down to pick her up. This is only 100 feet from where we were at. This is going on. We're all around the campfire, like 20 people there that night.
Wow.
And, she put up her friend in the meantime, looking up at this Bigfoot standing a foot away from them, just watching them. So she's
Wow.
like, oh my God, we're going to die. We're going to buy the farm tonight. All them combat missions I was on, and I'm going to get killed by Bigfoot. And they were laughing about it. We hear them laughing, man, laughing like crazy. There's another girl about halfway back that's seen all this. I think her name is Haley. Well, they all come back to the fire, just laughing and laughing. And she's like, "You're not gonna believe this." And they told the story,
Wow.
and I was so happy for them. So, they're so enthused over it. I mean,
Mm.
most people probably would have shit their pants coming out of there screaming like a scared dog, but they took it all in good stride. And
Wow.
I told them from the beginning, like I just told you on the interview, expect the unexpected.
Mm.
I said, you come up for an encounter, don't be surprised if you get one. And remember, if you can't handle it, don't ask for it and don't come up there because it happens there.
Mm.
And that's why they were laughing about it. And this happened 2 weeks before Christmas,
Wow.
2021. I'll never forget it. And they
Wow.
still talk about that. And they call me Uncle Squat. And they're just amazed at what, that's just what we heard tree knocks that night. I mean, everything was going on. See, we had a party atmosphere. Everybody
Okay.
was laughing. Everybody was joking. Everybody,
Mm.
their energy was high. And the
Mm.
Bigfoots were thriving off that.
Wow.
They love it when people are like that.
Okay.
Instead of just a group of people sitting around like bumps on a log. They like the festival type atmosphere.
Mm.
And they were out there having just as much as a good time as we were.
Wow.
And the night ended great. And everybody left with great stories.
Wow.
So,
Mm.
so, um, so the people that are listening to this interview, and they want to know, how can I get close to the forest people? Oh, well, just do what I do. It's all about heart. It's all about your feelings. Do you really mean what you say to them? I do, and they know that. You got to build
Mm.
trust. Get a gifting stump in an area. Leave them treats. They like little trinkets, marbles, cheap ass jewelry. They love stuff like that. Toys for the little ones. Just use your imagination. And everybody loves food.
Mm.
Yeah, give them food they can't get out in the forest. Yeah, stuff
Mm.
like donuts, bananas, stuff that ain't here in the forest of Indiana.
Okay.
They will love it. I mean, I get Krispy Kreme, raspberry donuts, jelly filled. They absolutely go nuts over that.
Did you have a situation where you put vegetables out and it sat for a while and then you put the donuts out and
No, that's back when I first
something?
started.
Okay.
That's back when they were still filling me out. They didn't trust me.
Okay.
When I would leave fruit out and it would rot time and time again. And I was getting really frustrated, very ticked off. I'm like, man, they're not taking nothing. And I was finding stuff, footprint. I knew they were out there. So one day I tried donuts. I put like 5 donuts up a log over a creek. Me and my son walked down, and on the way back, all the donuts were gone.
Wow.
So we're sitting there, going, could it be right? Because raccoons usually don't come out till dark. And it wasn't that long. I mean, it wasn't out there that long. And we kind of heard laughing up on this hill. Like he was
Wow.
up there laughing at us. And so I started using donuts. And then I found the gifting stuff. That's all I use now. It's like a sacred spot back there. I mean,
Mm.
I call it my sacred ground. And that's where I believe it firmly. Where I built my trust with them. And I'd always let them know it's good food, it's healthy. Sometimes I take a bite of the stuff. One time we put a whole chickens baked, 2 of them, completely gone. As I said, peanut butter back there with the jar real tight, where no varmints could get into unless you had hands. And we find a peanut butter jar out in the woods, way away from the stuff, completely look clean. I mean, like a brand new jar has never been in it. Peanut butter.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, and you put all this together, you start putting the pieces in the puzzle, and it will come to you. Yeah, you'll see the power of the people. You can see their magical abilities. You can see what they're all about.
Mm.
I mean, after you see what I've seen, you would not judge them as being mean, evil beings.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the way I feel about it.
Mm.
And I can't say I'm 100% right, but I feel very confident that I am
Do you
from
feel,
everything I've spoke.
you mentioned building trust. Do you think keeping your word is important with them?
Yeah, it's really important. Yeah, because I told them I promised them I would never allow nobody to use no equipment up there. Some people have tried to sneak it out and use it. They got mad. Nothing
Wow.
happened. Sometimes for weeks. And I had to get up there and talk to them. I'd go out to the stump by myself, raise my arms, apologize, to tell them I banned that person from coming here, or I talked to that person. I'm sorry. It will never happen again.
So you worked things out with them that way. Wow.
Yeah, I
Wow.
could smooth things over.
Like talk to them like a person.
Yeah, I just talk to them just like a person. That's what I'm
Wow.
getting at.
Wow.
That's why I call them the force people. And
Wow.
I know they understand English. They understand many languages.
Mm.
They can probably speak many Native American languages. The Cherokee, the Navajo, the Sioux.
Wow.
Yeah, all the ones with a rich history of Sasquatch. Yeah, each tribal clan has their own word for it. But in most of the tribal legends, they speak of this being. Uh, a lot of them talk about respect.
Okay.
They know they're very grounded people, and they don't mess with them. And that's what another thing I promised them. I would never make a dime off of them. Yeah, I don't want to be no big shot Bigfooter going around the country talking, making money, writing books. I told them, yeah, I told them flat out, I would never make a dime off you. I would never sell you out. I would never bring people here that would do you harm. I go, I love you people, man, just like my family. And I would do all this for me if you show me the truth. That's all I want, man. This is my journey. And if it takes, just me and you, I could care less if I ever told anybody. Um, but they have come to me in visions to tell people, to get people up there, to show people the truth that they want people to know. I have been told in one way or another to start writing books.
Wow.
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm no millionaire. I'm far from being financially rich. I mean, I think the forest people would love for me to get the truth out about them in a non-demeanor way,
That wouldn't surprise
such
me.
as a show about the truth, like you
Mm.
mentioned,
Yeah.
for telling more encounters and truths
Yeah.
through my book writing. I mean, everybody else does it. I wrote a few of them books, but I don't think most people have what I got to say.
Yeah.
I just told
Unique.
you a few of them tonight that's never happened to nobody. Probably never will.
Yeah, you have a really unique. Not a lot of people talking about them like you.
Yeah, I mean, just like when you was up there camping with us. Yeah, I like laughing. I like joking. But when it comes to the forest people, you seen I changed to a whole different guy down there, didn't I?
Yeah.
I had to take care of the business at hand, and I had to lock in. I had to visualize. I had to manifest what people wanted,
Okay.
and I did it.
Wow.
I mean, a lot of times I leave them camp outs. I'm drained
Hmm.
because it takes a lot of my energy. A lot of people don't realize how much I put forth into this to get people satisfied, to get people to have encounters that have never had nothing in their life, but they
Wow.
love the subject. I mean, it's just like you've never seen IBRO
No.
until that night. And that tells you they were everywhere back out there.
I can still see
But,
it. There was like 5, 6. I don't know. There was a lot in front of us, right in front of
yeah, and
us.
sometimes when you just see one, they're peeking around a tree.
Yeah. They.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Then
I
it
mean,
goes
I
like
learned
that.
that.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll just stand right at, let you see both of them.
Yes.
Sometimes they'll get bright, let you see their body. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen it all.
I haven't seen
And
that,
there ain't
but I've
nothing that
seen.
wouldn't surprise me.
Wow. Wow.
But
Awesome, man.
yeah, it's been a great journey, man. And I still got, as long as these old legs can carry me, man,
Heck yeah.
I'll be enjoying it, man, till the day they chuck me in the clay.
Yeah, man. What a gift. Well, thank you so much. This has been great, I think.
I enjoyed it. Thanks for having me.
And I'm
And
excited for some people, if they haven't heard of you, to I love your message, and I just learned a lot tonight, and I'm gonna learn more when I listen to it again. And yeah,
yeah, I'll just hope here in the near future we can get together and
me too.
get the truth out on my channel. You get that thing rolling again.
Yeah, and I don't know if it would be
Uh,
possible, but if maybe we could, if you were interested, I can cut this out if you're not, but we could try to do like a live that if we could figure out how to put it out on your channel, like in the near future, you could do like a live Q&A or anything if you wanted.
right.
It's
Yeah,
up to
yeah, we
you
could have some of them.
to try.
Yeah,
In
we'll
the
talk about
meantime,
all that.
yeah.
But no, I had a great time, man.
Thank you. Yeah, me
Talking to
too.
you and Leroy, man. It was a good interview.
It was. I felt I was getting blasted with goosebumps quite a bit.
Hey, I still get them too. Every time I tell them stories,
Yeah, I feel.
I got to relive them.
I
And even though they all turned out good,
I feel like I
you just
feel
had to be there.
you bring me there when you tell the stories.
Yeah, I try to. I mean, I try to let the people see what I see,
Yeah,
and I think I do a pretty good job at it.
me too.
And I hope that people enjoy this interview. I poured my heart into it,
Yeah, and I
and
appreciate that.
I mean, it's easy to tell the truth. I got so many truths I could talk all night long, but so then maybe you can have me on another time for some more.
I'd love to. Even some people might want to see you live and just start talking and asking questions live, or
Yeah, I know. And then you can't really go on with the interview.
yeah, yeah.
Anyway, have a great night. And again, thanks for having me on, Martin. I had a good time, man.
You too, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And yeah, I'll talk to
Thank
you soon,
you,
I'm
and
sure.
prayers to you, brother. Long live the forest people.
Yes, sir. All right, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I'll
hit.
talk to you soon, man.
Yes, sir. Thanks again.
Okay, bye bye, buddy.
All right.